After the massive success of Citizen Vigilante and how a film like that truly resonated with so many people, I just had to go and revisit Law Abiding Citizen after so many years and see why the ending did not feel satisfactory in any way, shape, or form. Because let's be honest, Nick was truly the villain of this story and Clyde was just a man wanting justice in a corrupt system.
I'm just getting warmed up.
When the system rejects justice, the people are the only ones able to go out and get the justice that's deserved.
I'm gonna bring the whole f***ing diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gotta be biblical.
Law Abiding Citizen stars Gerard Butler as Clyde. After a home invasion, his wife and his daughter are killed, only for Nick, the prosecutor, and his dumbass team to make a deal so that sick gets away with murdering people, and another guy facilitating the home invasion, who didn't do much at all, gets sentenced to death. When Clyde realizes that the justice system had failed any sort of justice a decade later from his family's murder, he takes it upon himself to serve justice for all the injustices revolving around his case.
I'm just getting warmed up.
The music overall fits the film very well, but it's not outstanding either. There's no specific theme that really jumps out at you because it's not really about the music, it's about pushing a good story. The cinematography is strong, it's not cookie cutter basic, it actually comes across as a movie, not some fake bullshit we see in movies these days. The whole story is very well put together when Clyde starts going on a rampage after one dude aims the cracker, gets killed with a lethal injection to really start off some justice. And I gotta say, Gerard Butler is so damn convincing in this film, it's almost like this shit actually happened to him, and he's truly just the standout in this film.
Your heart is beating so fast. No, me too.
Jamie Foxx is okay, but Gerard Boy amps this up to 11, whereas Jamie just seems like he's going through the motions at times. The fact that Clyde just goes full Saw mode and cuts Darby up that sick
Now this is for your penis, but we'll get to that later.
It's just so savage, and he records that shit. And how could you say this was not satisfying at all? Maybe not something I would do, but he obviously wanted him to experience the sheer amount of pain before going, bye, turn it off. As soon as the cops think it's Clyde, they come after him, and the dude just has to be nude. Homie really just doesn't give a shit, and he obviously knew he'd be arrested because the place Darby was killed at was on his own property. The funny part is Clyde is so likable besides doing some really messed up shit.
In fact, you might want to cancel the rest of the week because you're going to be busy. Sit down.
And he's been manipulating Nick like a damn fiddle this entire time, and this shit just kept getting better and better as the film went on. Homie got so smart he just became a lawyer himself, and he didn't need school to do so. Exactly how it should be done, because school's for fools these days.
I believe those cots are bolted into the cells.
Well, that's what wrenches are for, dumbass.
Clyde wanted a nice mattress in his cell, and he got it before even giving a confession.
Nice bed.
Thank you.
So when he has his damn bail hearing, this dumbass judge was gonna let him go because of a lack of confession and evidence.
Because apparently, I just killed 2 people. And you were about to let me walk right out that door.
And homie calls that dumb out.
One more time.
Any idea what justice is? I bet you take it up the f***ing ass, bitch.
And they take his ass away, and it was great to really prove that a system like this will grant someone bail even if the suspicions were substantially true that Clyde murdered Ames and Darby.
How misguided are you?
And it's interesting that he's willing to risk his life basically to prove a point, and honestly, you can't really blame the dude at all. The system is obviously beyond corrupt at this point, and that's why we have movies like Citizen Vigilante popping up 17 years later.
Whatever happened to justice?
Only after that shit he goes after Darby's lawyer, and if he doesn't get a damn steak by 1 p.m, homie is just cooked. So then he does give his confession to Nick.
His toes with tin snips, his balls with a hacksaw, and his penis with a box cutter. How's that for specifics?
And it turns out Nick finds Darby's lawyer going bye, turn it off to the spirit world, all while Clyde takes this bone from the steak and absolutely stabs the shit out of his cellmate, and you're thinking, holy shit, Clyde went fully unhinged, and and it was really good. He just really wanted to get his ass to solitary confinement so he could mess with these corrupt ass losers. And I like how Darby's lawyer died because it showed that they didn't really care about his life whatsoever, and that if the stake arrived by 1 p.m. when it should have, he would have lived. And it just goes to show that he was just giving them a lesson in accountability.
I'm just getting warmed up.
And it's only then revealed midway through that he's a guy that worked for the CIA that specializes in giving people bye-bye turn-it-offs to nearly impossible threats. And he realized, okay, Clyde is extremely smart. So it really makes sense how he's always 10 steps ahead of the police and this corrupt ass system and this dumb chocolate cake Nick.
No.
Clyde Boy really got red pilled after his family went bye-bye to the spirit world. And that's sometimes the only way it's supposed to happen. A cause and effect. Then he starts taking more people out, like the damn judge, which was incredibly satisfying after she wanted to do some corrupt shit to keep him locked up without bail.
Okay. I'm game.
And she literally gets her head exploded by a damn phone. And that shit was wild. Definitely didn't see that shit coming.
I bet you take it up the ass, bitch.
And then his master plan really continues, and he wants all his charges dropped by
6 a.m., Nick.
For what?
Or I kill everyone.
And it doesn't happen. And the funny thing is, Nick should know that Clyde isn't messing around at all. But his whole team basically gets the bye-bye turn it off in car explosions. And that shit was great. And it almost seemed that Clyde didn't want to do this, but he was forced to, because Nick the chocolate cake is the biggest dum-dum to ever exist.
Dumbass.
But this shit was very satisfying regardless. All these people just went bye-bye. And it was great. The part where Nick punches Clyde outside the prison was unique because at this point, Nick wanted to kill Clyde really damn badly.
I'm just getting warmed up. It's gotta be biblical.
Nick the chocolate cake decides to again not learn from this whole ordeal, and he goes to this chick's funeral who he was probably plowing on the side, and then boom, there goes the district attorney. And then boom, a rocket blowing up this mother. And goddamn, that shit was awesome. And these corrupt really deserve this shit. If they want to play the system, Clyde was just playing it too. Don't play with people's lives if you don't want to take any sort of accountability. It goes for everybody that plays with those people's lives. The cops and everybody, the judges, lawyers, everything. Those people gotta take the biggest accountability.
How misguided are you?
And still, after all this, Nick the chocolate cake doesn't learn shit. He's so damn stupid, and I don't know why these clowns decide to write his character like this, but if he's part of the Matrix, it makes sense because he's the biggest NPC ever.
Dumbass.
And this is where it was so interesting to see where things were gonna go, but that's kind of where it stops getting good. After that, it definitely gets dumber. And at this point, the movie's basically a 9 out of 10 for me, minus all the parts of Nick being really dumb for a prosecutor. God damn, this guy is so stupid.
Dumbass.
The niggas to this film is the fact that Nick wasn't really a detective, so I don't know why he's flying around in helicopters and trying to track down Clyde's next move, when really a detective should be doing all that shit. It made absolutely no goddamn sense, and Nick's character has the character development of a rock. His character doesn't change whatsoever throughout this entire film. The only thing he does differently is decide to go to his daughter's recital by the end versus watching a dude get executed. He's gotta be the dumbest father ever. Why wouldn't you just go to your daughter's recital right away? At the beginning of the movie. No, he's gotta watch some dude get executed. That shit was stupid. And obviously, Nick the Chocolate Cake has to be the dumbest character in movie history. A prosecutor turned district attorney who doesn't learn jack shit and still thinks he didn't start this whole situation and get all these people killed.
Did we bring this all on ourselves? Absolutely not. You don't actually believe that, do you?
Dude is a walking villain with no morals whatsoever. And they tried to make him a hero, but he's a piece of shit from beginning to the end of this movie. And now the ending is where this movie could have been something very special, but even some good writers seem to have fumbled the bag so goddamn hard. This ending comes across as so messy and unsatisfying, it sucks a big bag of dicks.
Dumbass.
First off, Nick finding his place right beside the prison actually made sense, but Clyde should have known that the police or even Nick would find this shit out. So Clyde's 10 steps ahead became no steps ahead all of a sudden. They find his tunnel with absolute ease, probably less than 5 minutes, and they basically find out he's been coming and going out of prison. And it became just a bit too silly that they'd find this all out so quickly. And then how they go from finding this bomb at City Hall and Clyde is already on his way back to the prison and they somehow get there before? It just made no sense whatsoever. And then Nick the Chocolate Cake gives this lame ass speech about having to live with the decisions Clyde has made, but he doesn't give a goddamn. He just knows he's serving justice like he is. And obviously Clyde was always 10 steps ahead, and somehow he just randomly fumbled so hard that he's 2 steps behind all of a sudden. And obviously the filmmakers just had to make Nick win.
Dumbass.
And then there goes Clyde instead of City Hall. I don't know, it just didn't make a whole lot of sense, that's for sure. And Nick just outsmarted Clyde in a game of chess, but this ending always felt so unnatural that it seems shoehorned into this cut of the film. It was just very unsatisfying to see Clyde lose a game he should have won from the beginning. This was honestly no solid levels of smarts. I do think like 90% of the movie was, but this was just filmmakers being dumb to make Nick look good when in fact they really just killed Clyde and bombed a prison essentially. That's what happened. And this would only make matters worse after locking down the damn city. People would start questioning what the hell is going on, and this would end up being a whole conspiracy cover up, and Nick would be absolutely cooked.
Dumbass.
I don't know, this shit was so stupid by the ending that you're thinking, what the is wrong with people? But honestly, overall, this movie is an actual 8 out of 10. It had so much potential to be a true masterpiece where it was sitting at a 9, but the ending sucks so much dick that you're stuck with a shitty ending to what could have been a truly amazing movie.
Dumbass.
But despite its flaws, it's a good time. You're very satisfied by the bye-bye turn-it-offs and get justice served in a great way.
I'm just getting warmed up.
And it's honestly always good to see people get justice, even when the system is so rotten to its core that the system truly needs to go bye-bye, turn it off.
Your heart is beating so fast. No, me too.
I bet you take it up the ass, bitch.